A standard civil trial in the Philippines takes years. Pleadings, pretrial conferences, witness testimonies, and cross-examinations consume court calendars and drain resources. A defendant can file an answer that formally denies every allegation, perfectly complying with the rules of pleading, even when those denials are entirely fabricated. The paper trail looks legitimate, but the facts behind it are hollow. Rule 35, summary judgments, exists to pierce these sham defenses and bypass the standard trial pipeline entirely. The trigger for this mechanism requires proving a singular condition, that outside of the exact amount of damages owed, there is no genuine issue as to any material fact. We will dissect sections 1 through 6 of this rule. We will extract the exact chronological triggers, map the uncompromising evidentiary burdens, and highlight the lethal traps that routinely eliminate candidates on the bar exam. Mastering Rule 35 turns a protracted factual dispute into an immediate legal evaluation, ending the case before the first witness ever takes the stand. Section 1 governs the claiming party. This applies to a plaintiff seeking to recover upon a claim, counterclaim, cross-claim, or to obtain a declaratory relief. A plaintiff cannot move for summary judgment out of the gate. The timeline remains locked until the defendant's answer is served. Remember case, claimant after answer, supported by evidence. This evidence must rely exclusively on affidavits, depositions, or admissions on file. There is an absolute jurisprudential wall here. You cannot use summary judgments in actions for declaration of nullity, annulment of marriage, or legal separation. In those cases, the state requires actual proof at trial. Distinguish this immediately from Rule 34, judgment on the pleadings. Rule 34 applies when the answer strictly admits the allegations and fails to tender an issue. Rule 35 applies when the answer does tender an issue, but your attached evidence proves that issue is a complete fiction. This creates a common bar exam trap. If a plaintiff files for summary judgment immediately after filing the complaint, before the answer is served, the motion is legally premature and fatally defective. Section 1 dictates tactical patience. Striking before the defendant locks in their answer neutralizes the plaintiff's advantage completely. Section 2 flips the board to the defending party. This mechanism protects defendants from the harassment of groundless lawsuits by providing an instant kill switch. Compare these timelines. The claimant on top is locked, waiting for an answer, but the defending party on the bottom operates with total temporal freedom, able to move for summary judgment at any time. Remember date, defendant anytime with evidence. The defending party carries the exact same evidentiary burden. They must deploy affidavits, depositions, or admissions to prove there is zero genuine factual issue in the plaintiff's complaint. Examiners test this asymmetry frequently. If a defendant files for summary judgment the day after receiving the summons, before ever filing an answer, the motion is perfectly valid. It's not premature. The rules intentionally engineer an uneven playing field. They give the defendant a faster trigger to eliminate frivolous claims before major litigation costs accrue. Section 3 controls the mechanics of the motion. The 2019 amendments restructured this process to strip away traditional delay tactics and maximize speed. The adverse party is granted a non-extendable period of exactly 5 calendar days from receipt to file their comment and serve opposing evidence. Furthermore, the motion itself must explicitly cite the specific law relied upon. If the submitted pleadings and evidence show no genuine issue of material fact outside of damages, the court is mandated to render judgment forthwith. Unless ordered otherwise, there is no hearing. The text on screen outlines the harshest reality of the 2019 amendments. Any action by the court on summary judgment shall not be subject to an appeal, certiorari, prohibition, or mandamus. Section 3 creates a zero-sum, rapid-fire trap. Missing that strict 5-day deadline is instantly and irreversibly fatal. Section 4 covers when the motion doesn't dispose of the entire case, resulting in a partial summary judgment. The judge ascertains what material facts exist without substantial controversy. Those undisputed facts are severed, locked in, and legally established. The most common issue that survives this motion is the exact amount of damages. That calculation nearly always requires a trial. Because of the partial judgment, the upcoming trial is drastically shortened. Proceedings are restricted exclusively to the remaining controverted facts. Take note of this specific procedural status. A partial summary judgment is strictly interlocutory. It cannot be appealed until the entire case reaches final resolution. Even when it doesn't end the case entirely, a partial summary judgment is a massive tactical victory. It surgically isolates and weakens the opponent's arguments long before the trial begins. Section 5 establishes the uncompromising evidentiary standard required to support or oppose the motion. Ordinary pleadings will not suffice. This document details the standard. Memorize PACC. Based on personal knowledge, they contain admissible facts, the affiant is competent, and attaching certified true copies. Don't confuse this with a standard Rule 7 verification, which allows statements based on authentic records. A Rule 35 affidavit strictly requires direct, personal knowledge of the evidentiary facts. Consequently, an affidavit stating that allegations are true to the best of the affiant's knowledge and belief is legally worthless. That phrasing renders the affidavit fatally defective for summary judgment. Under Rule 35, the affidavit effectively replaces the trial testimony. Weak paperwork guarantees a total loss. Section 6 is the final safeguard, designed to brutally penalize anyone attempting to weaponize summary judgments for delay. If the court determines that any affidavits are presented in bad faith, it shall forthwith order the offending party to pay the other side's reasonable expenses, including attorney's fees. Furthermore, after a hearing, the judge has the authority to adjudge the offenders guilty of contempt. The penalty is broad. Liability for these sanctions can be shared jointly by both the offending party and their counsel. To utilize Rule 35 effectively, remember the chronological constraints. The claimant must wait for the answer, captured by the case mnemonic. The defendant can strike at any time, captured by the date mnemonic. Always verify whether an issue has been tendered to distinguish this from Rule 34, and ensure your evidence adheres strictly to the PAC standard of personal knowledge and admissibility. Summary judgment operates outside the traditional courtroom. It is a full trial conducted entirely on paper. Master the paperwork, execute the timelines flawlessly, and you dictate the outcome of the case.